Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be vitamins. Okay, so just to give you a little backstory, after the operation, they require that you need to take vitamins for the rest of your life because with the amount of food that we'll be able to eat, there's not enough for us to have the proper intake. And I have heard cases of people who were prescribed, example, calcium, which is one of the vitamins, and or supplements, and they didn't take it, and they developed weak bones, or I wouldn't say osteoporosis because I don't really know the person, but I know they had problems with their bones. So it's very important to take our vitamins. And just give you a little bit of an insight of what happened. I went to the pharmacy to go and get my vitamins, and when I arrived at the counter, I had my prescription, and besides my multivitamin, my other two vitamins, which is B12 and the other one is calcium and vitamin D, I had options for them. So with the multivitamin, it wasn't hard. They could only give me one kind, which was the Mark Centrum. And the other two kinds, I had three options of different vitamin supplements that I could take. And the pharmacist told me that she was going to go with the first choice for each of them, and to try them, and if they didn't work, then to come back and we could switch them out for the other ones. So I don't know if everyone knows, in Canada, if you don't have an insurance with your work, you're covered by the government to a certain amount, but not all things are covered. So like vitamins, some of the times aren't covered, but I personally have a work insurance, so I'm not covered by the government, and your work has to cover it. Usually if it's covered by the government, your work will cover it. So I wasn't too worried. I didn't think that vitamins would be excluded. So I arrived at the checkout counter with my vitamins, and the price was $110, which I thought for 3 vitamins was unbelievable. I told her to put it back. I was going to check into it with my work because there was no way I was going to pay $110 for vitamins per month for the rest of my life, because it's just insane, crazy. Maybe for other people in other areas of the world, that's nothing, but here in Canada, $110 for 3 vitamins is a lot. So I went and checked with my work. I gave them the list of the medication, the options that I had, and I asked them to verify which ones would be covered and which ones wouldn't, and if it was possible to have an exclusion. And they told me that the best thing to do was to go back to the pharmacy. So I was starting to get frustrated. The pharmacy tells me to go to my work, and my work tells me to go back to the pharmacy. And they told me to go back to the pharmacy and tell them to go through each of the options to see which may be covered and different prices, because she couldn't give me the prices. So today I called the pharmacy back and I said, look, this is the situation. I don't want to pay $110 for 3 vitamins. And she said, okay, well, we'll look at the different options that you have. And she went through them. And we realized that the B12 that the first pharmacist was trying to sell me was a liquid format. And I had the option of liquid format or chewables. And that was the choice one, and she had wanted me to take the first choice, absolutely wanted me to take the first choice, and she said if it didn't work, come back to buy them, and come back if it didn't work, or to see with my work, and then the next month I could change. And so she was kind of pressuring me to take the liquid form of the B12, which was totally not covered. And on the phone, the woman told me that the liquid form of the B12 cost $85 to $90 for the liquid form, and the chewables cost $6. I was mad because why didn't the first pharmacist tell me that it was possible that the other ones were cheaper? I mean, she knew that as soon as she told me that the price was $110, I was like, forget about it. And she didn't even say, well, don't worry, I'll look and see if the other ones are cheaper. It was like, just come back when you have the money and pay for it. It's not that I didn't have the money. It's that I couldn't believe that it cost $110 for that. So I was mad. Like, I couldn't believe that the lack of effort gave me so much stress for, I would say it's been about a month since the first time that I went to the pharmacy. And I was mad because stressed out. Already there's enough stress with everything going on. And on top of that, you think, oh my God, I'm going to have to pay $1,200 a year for vitamins. It was unbelievable. So I gave the order to the pharmacy and I went and picked up my pills, and I'm just going to show you what I got. Just in case I'm saying the word pharmacy and nobody knows what a pharmacy is. I don't know what it would be called elsewhere. I'm not even sure if in the rest of Canada it's called a pharmacy. I think so. It's mostly like a drug market where you can go and get your prescriptions. You can also go and buy makeup. You can buy regular medicine like Tylenol or cold flu medicine and shampoo and stuff. I'm sure everyone has it, but it just might not be called a pharmacy. So here it's called a pharmacy in Quebec. The first one up that I'm going to have to take is Centrum Multi-Gummy. So just a basic, complete multivitamin. I'm sure everyone has seen Centrum or something like it, that kind of mark. And this is twice per day. I'm supposed to be having hard chewables, but they only had the gummy ones. So it's gummy inside. It's sealed, so I'm not going to open it because I'm only going to start taking them tomorrow. And I didn't think to open the package because it's sealed with a seal lock. So that's the multivitamin twice a day. Another one that I have to take is the B12. So this was the one that was costing me $85 to $90 in a liquid form. This is 3 times per week. And it's just a little orange pill. I don't know if you can see very well. I could also open it up to let you see what it is. So it looks like that. It's just a little pill, 1,200 milligrams. In a little yellow container because sometimes they open them up to, you don't have like the store brand direct from the company. And the third kind that I have is called C-Cal-D, which is calcium and vitamin D. And these ones are huge. These are, you're going to have to chew them up. And they said, there's a little paper that came with it. It said to chew them up and then it's recommended to drink a lot of water afterwards because they said it can cause diarrhea and sometimes it's hard to get through because they're really hard. Another suggestion was to just squish them up and put them in water and drink that. So I haven't tried them yet. These are going to be also twice per day. These are what it looks like. They're actually relatively huge. I would say they're about the size, maybe a little bit smaller, but about the size of a nickel. And so that's twice per day. This one says to have it with breakfast and supper. The Centrum doesn't specify exactly what to do, but I have 2 big bottles of these guys. And this is all for 1 month. This is a 1 month quantity. So when the month is up, I'm going to have to go back to Centrum. I have a little bit more because there are 70 in them. So I'll have a little excess once a month, about 10 left over. And so these are the vitamins that we're going to have to take. Well, I'm going to have to take for the rest of my life. And there you have it. I was just wondering what you guys think. Do you think it was fair for the pharmacist to not go a little bit further and try and give me like a better service, or say that it's possible that the other ones are cheaper instead of pushing me to buy the $85, $90 liquid B12? Or you think that I guess it was up to me to ask her the question, but I just think it was ridiculous. And so that's it. I just wanted to share my vitamins with you. Also, before I go, I just wanted to say that today is day 4 of my liquid diet before getting operated on, so pre-op liquid diet. And today is not an easy one. I would say my afternoon is a little bit better once I found out that my vitamins were going to be a lot cheaper. But this morning was really hard. Last night was hard too, day 3 in the evening, because I was hungry and I'm feeling more emotional. I'm very someone who I eat my emotions, so as soon as something was bothering me, I would eat. So being cut off from that, I know it's only been 4 days, but it's 4 days without any kind of sugar or fat products, and we get addicted to these things. So I think it's kind of like a withdrawal symptom. If I look at the other forums that I'm on, that's what they were saying. And just a funny story, today at work where I work, they're usually always, they're very implicated in the community, and they do sometimes, they'll go out and they'll buy things. Example to like Tim Hortons, they have this special once a year where they do a smile cookie, and they'll pass it around. They'll go to Tim Hortons and buy a whole bunch for the company, and then they'll pass them around for free. and that supports whatever organization Tim Hortons is doing for that at the Smile Cookie at that time. And today they were supporting a local organization who was selling apples, and the profits from the sales of the apples goes to something what I wasn't paying attention because I was like, I can't take an apple. And when the woman passed by and she was asking people if they wanted their apple, I was like, oh no, thank you. I don't want one, but thanks anyways. And as soon as she left, I was so overwhelmed because I would have taken an apple. I wanted to eat an apple. I wanted to eat like 2-3 apples. I was so hungry, and it really came and got me like in my emotions. And it, not that it made me mad, but I was like, okay, you're doing this to yourself. You're depriving yourself. I know it's in the long run it's for a good thing, but it was just like, give me a damn apple. And so when she left, I was all emotional and I had tears in my eyes. And I have this great colleague who came over and she gave me a hug because she knows what I'm going through. And she was like, it's okay, don't worry about it. But it was just like, what a damn apple. So that was kind of, it's funny now. At the time it wasn't funny because I was crying over a stupid apple. But yeah, I guess when we're hungry, it's just, don't tempt us with anything because it's already hard enough to be drinking Slim Fast and eating a cup of vegetable a day. So that was just a funny little story that I wanted to share with you. There's still, I'm at day 4, so there's still 6 days left until I get operated on. Stressed out of my mind, but I know like I'm doing it for the right reasons. And I'll come back to you if there's anything new to talk about over the next 6 days. For sure, I'll come back the day before that I get operated on. But if anything else interesting happens, then I'll let you know. Thanks for joining me.